As I begin to conclude today's session, I want to leave you with one final storytelling secret. Readers don't always remember the loudest character. They remember the character who made them feel something. Now think about the stories that stayed with you. Perhaps it was a parent who silently sacrificed for their family, a mentor who believed in someone before anyone else did, a friend who stayed during difficult times, a grandmother whose wisdom appeared in only a few scenes, like I said in the previous video. So these characters may not have occupied the most pages, yet they occupied the most space in our hearts, and that is quiet power. As writers, we should never underestimate the emotional impact of stillness. A character does not need a grand speech to become unforgettable. Sometimes a single action is enough. A hand on someone's shoulder, for example, a letter left behind. A promise kept, a goodbye spoken with grace. So the smallest moments often carry the biggest weight, greatest weight in fact. Readers are surprisingly intelligent because there is a reason that they trust quiet characters. They notice authenticity. And when a character constantly tells the audience how strong, intelligent, beautiful, or important they are, readers become skeptical. But when a character quietly demonstrates those qualities, readers believe them. That trust is earned, not declared. Now, this same principle applies in storytelling. Now, let your readers discover the greatness of a character. Allow them to arrive at that conclusion themselves. When readers participate in discovering a character's strength, the connection becomes much deeper. You know why? Because there is a difference between attention and impact. So many writers write the character just to gauge the attention of the reader, but the important part of all this is that the reader should get the impact. So one of the most important lessons every writer should learn is this: the attention impact are not the same thing. A character may receive attention, but another character may create impact also. The first is noticed, the second is remembered. As storytellers, our goal should not be to create characters who simply occupy space. Our goal should be to create characters who leave footprints. They should leave the impression on the minds of the readers, basically. Characters whose decisions ripple through the story long after they leave the scene. And that's the real influence, that's the real power, that the character has left the impact. So now, how can you do this? You can only do this by writing with confidence. This lesson doesn't apply only to characters, it applies to writers too. Because it's the duty of the writer to write impactful characters. So many writers feel pressure to constantly prove themselves, but instead of that, they are supposed to focus on writing bigger stories, to write louder stories, to follow trends, to chase attention. That's how a great storyteller becomes. So, but great storytelling often comes from a place of quiet confidence. So if a writer has that quiet confidence, you can tell the story. The confidence to trust your voice and so that you can give that confidence to that particular character also. The confidence to write about small moments that reveal universal truths. Not every story needs dragons. Not every story needs explosions. Not every story needs extraordinary circumstances. What they need is that the powerful story is simply about a human being learning how to live. That is the lifestyle, and that is enough. So how lifestyle is affected, what is lifestyle, where does that can occur, a good lifestyle? So that happens only with the power of observation. So writers often ask us that how do I create memorable characters? My answer is always the same: observe people, pay attention, watch how people interact, watch who speaks the most, and watch who influences the room without speaking much at all. Observe the teacher who changes lives without demanding praise. Observe the parent who works quietly every day. Observe the friend who always shows up when needed. Observe the people whose actions are larger than words. These are the people who teaches us how to write powerful characters. The writer is also learning. Writer also learns because they are living examples of writer that doesn't announce itself, because that's the responsibility of the writer. So storytelling is more than entertainment. Stories shape how people see the world, and stories influence what people admire. Stories influence what people aspire to become. If every story only rewards noise, readers may begin to believe that noise equals value. But when stories celebrate wisdom, kindness, patience, resilience, and integrity, they remind us that true strength often looks different than we expect. So what are we supposed to search? We're supposed to search the theme of the story. What is it based on? So you have the opportunity to show the power that can be quiet. Is it based on leadership, compassionate? To create the influence that can be gentle and instill a confidence that can be calm. So those lessons matters. Imagine two characters standing side by side. One is shouting about their achievements. The other is quietly helping others. One is demanding recognition. The other is creating impact. One wants to be seen and the other wants to make a difference. Years later, which character will readers remember? The one who seeked the attention or the one who created the impact? The answer is usually the same. Readers remember the person who changed something, not the person who talked about changing something. And that is perhaps the greatest storytelling lesson of all. So as you are leaving today's session, I really want you to remember some important points, like power does not always arrive with applause. Sometimes it arrives through consistency, through integrity, through wisdom, through kindness, through presence. The strongest character in your story may not be the loudest. The most influential person in your life may not be the most visible one. And the most powerful writer in the room may simply be the one quietly doing the work every day. So write those characters and celebrate those people and become the kind of storyteller that can understand the greatest influence, which often comes from those who never feel the need to announce it. So if you have any questions or if any query, you can leave in the comment section. Thank you for joining me today. Keep writing, keep observing, keep growing. And remember that the most powerful stories are not always the loudest stories. They are the stories that stay with us long after the final page is turned. I hope this message resonated with you. For more videos like this, and you can like, share and subscribe this channel, and keep listening, keep writing. Thank you.